Morning, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Give
Welcome on, DJ Adley.
Morning, sir. Morning, great nation.
Are you a warrior or are we a warrior?
All of we are warrior.
That is it.
All of us.
All right, sir. Big respects. Thank you very much, Bridge Nation, for tuning in at this early hour. We really appreciate you for actually starting the program with us. And I know that many of you do stay with us right to the end of it. And so we invite you to make that happen today, just like you have been. And for those newcomers, welcome. This is what we do best. 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock from Mondays through Thursdays, really. It is what we call Top of the Bridge.
Up and go.
All right, big respects to Peter John across the glass, and we're going to make it happen right now like this. Gonna run on now to what we call
WTF.
What the fact at 6:26. Let's get to it.
All right. So, clams. Yeah, clams. Them, there's something there. Have feet. Yeah, man. So if you thought they couldn't get any weirder. While it might look like clams have a big tongue that sometimes protrudes from their shell to poke around the ocean floor, what you've actually been seeing, Bridge Nation, is a foot. That's right. The appendage, relatively long in comparison to the overall size of the creature, is actually used to dig in the sand. So clams have feet.
Oh boy.
Clams.
I have a theory, gentlemen.
Clams.
What is it?
You know, so I'll be an alien day in the ocean. I might sound crazy right now.
No.
I feel like the ocean is weirder than we think, you know.
No,
like,
listen. I have no joke shells.
Yeah.
I've always said that. I mean,
Something about
the
it.
most mysterious. Listen, it's the most.
Yep.
What would you call that? No. I mean, water is really the
crazy.
most element we really have
We
on
can't-
Earth.
we can't
You
master it.
understand? And you have so much undiscovered part of that ocean.
Yeah.
Every now and again we see a picture emerge of some
creature.
sea creature where they say,
Because they come from space.
Listen, some things down there where we don't know about.
The craziest fact I heard is that it's easier for us to go in orbit than explore the depths of the ocean. Like
I'm telling
we have no technology so far that can make we go down there. So
No,
but we
but-
can go to space. Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm saying.
But tell me now, honestly, this clam thing, the clam is that thing that
Yeah, man, that
with
like
the shell
the
and
oyster looking. Yeah.
But the only one thing we want out that clam,
No, oh yeah, forget about the pearl. Yeah.
You're totally
Yeah, just walk up and give you a pearl, yeah.
I hope that and see a $1 billion pearl in that in a rich.
The truth is that all these people who have been enjoying their clams all these years need to know that they have been eating clam feet as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Possibly.
Because
Yeah.
they do have feet. All right, that's an interesting fact. The kind that we share with you at 6:25 in the mornings. It's that was
WTF.
What the Fact.
Everybody up, love you look, yeah, give them out.
All right, Bridge Nation, here we are going now. Football news, quick and fast. Watch the style, you know. Does this ring a bell? One of these names will get you guys interested. The Riyadh All-Stars 11 will be facing PSG. That sound like it now get nobody excited yet, no. Who then Riyadh All-Stars 11? Well, that's actually a combination of the best players in Saudi Arabia. And who is the best player in Saudi Arabia, right? Are on paper the best player, well, the biggest star over there right now, Cristiano Ronaldo. Who are one of the biggest stars on PSG, Lionel Messi.
Oh.
So the GOAT debate, even though we say it done, I believe it done, the GOATs have another chance to settle it on the pitch. Today at noon, 12 p.m., yes, Ronaldo and Messi will be going head-to-head. Ronaldo will be captaining the Riyadh All-Stars. Of course, Messi, I'm expecting to see Mbappe out there because it's a big money event. It's a big money event. And mentioning the word big money, interesting, a fan who's going to the game spent $2.6 million.
US?
Yeah, I want to assume that, you know.
Yeah, man.
2.6 million?
$2.6 million for a VIP ticket to see Ronaldo and Messi go head-to-head. The ticket will give them access to the dressing rooms as well as the chance to meet both players. But no, I feel kind of too crazy.
Listen, when you're dealing, my little 2 cents on it, Richie, when you're dealing with that part of the world in the shells, Riyadh,
Yeah, and then players
Saudi.
there. Yeah,
yo, listen,
2.6.
Dubai, they
Yeah.
one of them
Money.
region there.
listen,
I know, but
Only for dollars, but seriously,
2.6
2.6
million, that kind of for what? Just dressing room access and
It doesn't
for
sound
me,
like it's a whole heap.
shells.
It doesn't sound like they're getting a whole lot for that money. I mean,
I don't
meeting
know.
there, maybe getting an autograph.
probably a picture.
I said maybe.
Yeah, a picture. Nah, man, I forgot to show some
When you
food
look at
or
that
something.
2.6,
Seriously?
for that person in a shells,
Yeah.
is what we call, a chunk for them, you know.
Yeah, but still enough.
It's a day.
That's still
It's
enough
a
money
day.
though.
If I have that money to spend and I wanted to spend it
On
like
that, yeah.
on that match, you have to go have me going out there to kick off the ball.
Yeah, man. No, man, I have to play.
Yeah, I have to play.
I have to play. Give me 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah, give me 15 minutes.
For of both halves.
Yeah, but me, I'll coach too.
Oh, you mean
Well, understand this.
Something.
That type of money, and me, I set the ball in and you see me?
Nah,
See me?
sir.
You understand? Listen,
Man, shot me a ref.
what did you say?
No,
Yeah,
fuck that,
I
man.
mean, it's crazy what that rich individual is doing.
They got
But
themselves.
I guess them well rich, so it's not a problem. And in
Yeah.
that part of the world, money is not a problem in any
Clearly.
way.
Listen to me?
Yeah.
So yeah, 12 noon.
Okay, 12 o'clock today.
Yeah.
Any predictions as to how... What is interesting, though, is how Ronaldo, in a fairly short time, seems to be bringing his
Lifting.
star power to...
That was the
to play.
intention. That's the
Yeah.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, man.
Make some money at the end of the day.
course.
Why not? 38
Well,
years old,
well,
37,
there.
38. Why not?
They
Some money.
they need to make back the money that they've invested in him as well.
So it's
'cause
not
he's-
man.
Some
He has maybe
money.
the richest contract
Yeah.
ever, right?
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be interesting.
All right, let's see how that match goes. Any predictions?
High scoring. I think they're not going to take it as serious. I think it's entertainment going to be the order of the day. So
Okay.
I'm seeing some goals, especially from Messi. It would be nice to have Ronaldo score too, but we could say high scoring though.
Right now,
right.
I'll
right
give him
That's your
PSG the
prediction.
edge
Hold
though.
on. Right now, you have the World Cup winner
Yeah,
and the Golden Boot winner.
one side
Facing
Then
off.
on the other side, you have
Ronaldo.
just Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Who didn't get a chance. To, listen, I shell them.
All
We
right.
see. We see.
We're inside of update, and
Yeah.
here's an update for you. The ABLP, that is the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, has retained the government by, it is believed, 1 seat. The Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party has won the January 18, 2023 general elections in Antigua and Barbuda. According to declared results, Prime Minister Gaston Brown will be sworn in today, which, by the way, is a national holiday. Man, now wait at all. His party won 9 of the 17 seats in the parliament at the time this report was published. The main opposition, United Progressive Party, the UPP, won 6 seats also at the time of this publication. The Barbuda People's Movement won 1 seat. Independent candidate who Dave Rodney mentioned yesterday, Ascot Michael, the rich gentleman who is
yes.
in the race,
Yeah.
He won the hotly contested St. Peter's seat, and the St. George seat was won by Algernon Watts. So that is by way of an update that the incumbent has retained his position as leader and prime minister over there in Antigua and Barbuda as head of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party that won the elections by a fairly narrow margin when you get right down to it, but victorious nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, those are the stories inside of...
Update.
All right, so it's now time for the proverb of the day. And we can share it,
Yeah,
right?
we can.
Yeah.
What is go? Bakra work never done. I've seen the word bakra.
Bakra. Like Bakra Masa.
I've heard that. What bakra
Yeah.
mean?
Some of them were basically own,
Another-
like
another word
from
boss?
slavery days. The boss.
Slave driver. That's a bakra. I
Bakra.
don't know. Bakra. Boss. Bakra
Oh.
boss. That's what I think bakra is.
Yeah, Bakra the boss. man.
Yeah. Okay, so bakra work never done.
The big farm with all the
Oh,
slaves
okay.
that work on
Alright,
having
so-
a whip and all them and dip on them horse
So,
and everything there.
so if bakra mean boss, then it means
And a good somebody.
no sir. No good somebody at all.
So what the proverb say?
Bakra work never done.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, all night, daylight, night time, if it's still I put in the work.
So that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen the meaning, it's saying there's always work to be done in the eyes of the boss or master.
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Middle of the night, him get a vibe, say, rain gonna fall tomorrow. Say, yo, go plant up them things before.
Jeez.
Yo, the man is serious. All right, so that is the proverb of the day. And we now move into our pet peeve
Yeah.
of the morning.
All right, so my one.
Okay.
All right, Bridge Nation, you know the thing, you know the shreps. Pet peeves are things that people do you find annoying, irritating, or upsetting. Now, Richie, I had a pet peeve before, like on my way over. But at the toll booth, something go on, I'm going to say it again. You see me? That pet peeve, yeah. You see when I look my toll booth operator person and tell you, morning, jeez, don't looking at my soul and don't say nothing. It not look good. it not feel good. It make me want to take it back. It make me want to reverse and take back my money. You understand? It make me want to reverse, go back on my yard, and probably drive the next route. Like, you know, like it's like, do they have any personality? Like, when I understand, like, no little vibes. Yeah, that's like, I understand you're probably out there from 3 in the morning. I get it. You know what I mean? Nobody know one day right now, but she's me look by and say, morning.
Pleasant
morning,
smile
man.
on your face. Good morning.
General.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just give you
Our Empress.
yeah, and them just like, yeah, they look like, yo, just give me your money and go. Even, you know, the little robot where you collect the card from where you take the North Coast Highway.
Yeah.
That have more personality than them more. Because that robot, them make me feel good.
Yeah.
Safe journey.
Yeah,
You know?
something to you.
I was like, thank
Something to
you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Journey.
Yeah, something.
Right?
Please take the card. You know, something. But the human beings at the toll, nothing.
More and more I'm finding, though, that people seem not to have a problem by not being pleasant. Like,
good.
And no matter how pleasant you are,
Yeah.
people just have a stone face
Stone
like
face,
yesterday.
like, yo, like, but this, yo. But I say good morning, like, what good about it?
Yeah. Man.
Jeez, well, yeah, that's my pet peeve. It just happened this morning.
She never wear a name tag, or him never have a name tag.
No,
God, if you call out them people, you know.
Yeah, man, call them. Yeah, them, the back of them, I met them.
All right. No, many of us will agree with that for sure. Now, the month of January is regarded as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And no doubt there are lots of activities to ensure that you know as much as you ought to on this disease. Cervical cancer, a type of cancer that occurs in the cells of the cervix, the lower part of the uterus that connects to the vagina. We understand that there are various strains of human papilloma virus, HPV, a sexually transmitted infection that actually play a role in causing most cervical cancers. Well, we are not the authority on this, of course. Our guest is, and we'll be going through some stats and some facts with her this morning and information that you can use on this subject, cervical cancer. So at this time, we welcome our very special guest, Dr. Astrid Batchelor, an obstetrician and gynecologist. Good morning, Dr. Batchelor.
Hello, good morning.
How are
Thank you
you?
for having me on the show. I'm well. I'm very well this morning. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us at this early hour, Dr. Batchelor.
My pleasure.
Now, we're looking at cervical cancer, and as I said in my intro, you have all the information that, that the Bridge Nation needs. What can you tell us, first of all, by way of a definition and a bit more information about this disease?
Sure. So let's start off with the cervix. So the cervix is the lower part of the uterus, otherwise known as the neck of the womb or entrance of the womb. It's the part of the uterus that protrudes into the vagina or is attached to the vagina. This is the same organ that dilates when it's time for women to have their babies via the vaginal route. So the cervix, as it dips into the vagina, is exposed sexually. When the male sexual organ enters the vagina, there is exposure between the two organs. Cervical cancer is caused by a sexually transmitted virus called human papilloma virus that persons are exposed to during the sexual act. This virus attacks the cervix. It can also attack the lining of the vagina as well. And in some women, exposure to this virus, if the infection is persistent, it can actually cause abnormal changes to the cervix. The normal healthy cells of the cervix can begin to transform, become abnormal. They can develop precancerous cells, which if left undetected and untreated, over time can also become cancerous. And that's what we call cervical cancer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that. For the ladies listening now, then, what would be some of the early signs or symptoms that they might notice?
So in the early stages, most persons have no symptoms at all with cervical cancer. But as the disease progresses, most women will have these complaints that they started noticing an abnormal vaginal discharge. Sometimes it may be a watery discharge with blood in it. Some persons may notice this discharge has an odor. Some people may start having abnormal bleeding from the vagina. For instance, when they have sexual intercourse, they may notice that they bleed, or they're having spotting when it's not time for their period. Or even women who have gone through the menopause, that means they've stopped having periods already, may notice they start having bleeding again. Some people say that they have low abdominal pain or back pain, or they were just noticing burning sensations in the vaginal area. So if you're having any of those symptoms, be sure to go to your gynecologist and have it checked out, especially if you don't have a recent pap smear that was normal.
Oh, okay, understood. Now, Dr. Batchelor, other than the HPV virus, is there any other thing that can cause cervical cancer? Any other things out there that women should look out for?
That can cause it. So our medical knowledge basically tells us about 98% of cervical cancers are caused by human papillomavirus. But that being said, there are some rare types of cervical cancer that are not caused by this virus that persons can get through hereditary causes or other environmental causes. But as a majority of them are caused by human papillomavirus, that's where the majority of our efforts will be.
Okay. And is there any way to test for the disease?
There is, for sure. So women should be doing their cervical screening test. That's your routine pap smears that start at age 21. No woman should be getting a pap smear before the age of 21. Okay. So we start pap smears at 21 and you have it every few years. At age 30, you can start doing what we call co-testing. That's a pap smear plus an HPV DNA test. The purpose of this HPV DNA test is to check or to detect the presence of any of these cancer-forming HPV viral types that have been known to cause cervical cancer in women.
Do you have any estimates, Doc, as to what number of women annually get infected or affected by cervical cancer, and any numbers in terms of the amounts that would maybe die as a result?
Yes, so I have local numbers. So the last study that we did in Jamaica, it's been quite a while. It was in 2010. And at that point in time, over 400 Jamaican women a year were being diagnosed with cervical cancer. And unfortunately, of those 400 women who were being diagnosed, about half of those women were dying. So cervical cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in Jamaican women. It's a very serious disease. And cervical cancer is essentially, in 99% of cases, preventable because we know what causes it. And there is a vaccine for human papillomavirus. And there are screening tests.
So I wanted to also delve a little deeper into how can women protect themselves? Can they?
Of course they can protect themselves.
How can they do that?
So the first thing that I'd want women to do is to ask their doctors about the human papilloma vaccine. There is a vaccine that is targeted at the cancer-causing types of human papillomavirus, the ones that tend to cause cervical cancers and other HPV-related cancers. You should ask your doctor whether you're a good candidate for this vaccine. We start vaccinating girls and boys as early as age 9. So for women, if you've passed the age of 9 to 26, you can ask about this vaccine for your daughters. You can start protecting your daughters from as early as age 9.
Okay.
Other things that can be done, you can get your routine PAP. Remember your annual PAP test, going to your general practitioners, your office, your gynecologist office, Jamaica Cancer Society, and your health centers, of course, and get your PAP smears done.
Understood.
At age 21.
Okay. Now, Dr. Batchelor, as we know, January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Are there any activities out there for persons to participate in?
There are always lots of activities for Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. I know Jamaica Cancer Society always has activities. Quite a few doctors' offices and health centers will be doing free pap smears for persons during this month. So they're out there. You can follow the Ministry of Health on Instagram, on their social media. There will be activities for Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. One last thing I need to say, practice safe sex. That's important. We know that it's caused by a sexually transmitted virus. So, of course, limiting the number of sexual partners you have and having safe sex practices will decrease your risk of getting cervical cancer. And smoking as well. Do not smoke. If you smoke, that can increase your risk of cervical cancer. And if you don't smoke, don't start.
Finally, Doc, some persons like to, in their own time and space, just do some reading up and so on. Where do you suggest that persons go for more information on this disease, cervical cancer?
Well, locally, we have a website here in Jamaica. You can Google Ministry of Health Cervical Cancer, They have a lovely bulletin on their website about cervical cancer and the cervical cancer vaccine and screening. There's also the CDC website. They have a lot of information about cervical cancer as well, and the American Congress of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. And lastly, the World Health Organization website. And my Instagram as well has a lot of information on cervical cancer.
All right.
You didn't give us the handle?
My Instagram handle is Dr. Astrid Bachelor.
Okay.
So Dr. Astrid Bachelor.
Okay.
And don't watch the surname. She does have her doctorate.
That is it.
Thank you, Dr. Bachelor. Have a great day. Great talking with you.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. All right, Dr. Bachelor was our guest looking at cervical cancer. No joke, no joke.
You said that human papilloma virus, something
HPV.
There. Yeah, man. That's something serious, man. Yeah, we like for especially young people like myself. We like for run joke, but get screened and get tested and take the vaccine. Hit the boat. That's all I'm here for, say, Richie. Enough of them I see that. I'm not getting it.
There was a time when the HPV vaccine was causing a lot of
I remember
disagreements. Some people were very much against, especially some parents were. But it seems to have kind of dissipated somewhat
in a sense,
as more information has become available.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. All right. So you heard the words from the doc. Use them, because this is no joke. You're talking about, she said, from back in the day, 400 approximately persons being diagnosed per year, and half of those would actually die as a result of cervical cancer. It's no joke.
Yeah.
We get a chance to have some fun with you at this time. We have a huge gift package. You can see it if you're a streamer with us at www.thebridge99fm.com. But for those who are not watching it and seeing us, you can take a word for it. It's a huge gift package.
Christmas
let's name some of the items in that package show.
All right, so we have Quaker oatmeal squares. We have them fruit wine there. All speed that Richie, say certain spirits in that one. Wet wipes. What is tomato sauce for the pasta lovers? Mentos. It's a long time I see the Mentos there.
Oh, the tuna.
Yogurt. Cran apple juice. Swiss Miss, but one of them big one and a little sachet thing. Oh, there's some little snacks, popcorn.
That's just some of the items.
Yeah, because some big berry in the middle. Yeah, come on, pudding cups.
The amount of things in that right now. If you recall out everything, all 8 o'clock when I start that items.
It's massive, man.
It's that big, Bridge Nation. So we want to give that to you. The final time this week that you get a chance to actually try in the Secret Sound game.
Yeah.
Do you know whether or not Peter John has the answer?
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I dare.
Okay.
Well, I dare. Love it, dear.
We have a caller.
Have a caller?
That's one part of the puzzle.
Oh, boy.
Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
In the building.
Yeah, man.
What we'll have to do then is note the answers.
Yeah.
Take a note. Ian?
Yes.
Morning, how you doing?
Not too bad.
All right.
I gave it a careful thought yesterday.
You always think through your answers very carefully, man. So I'm going to see what you come up with now.
Yes.
Secret Sound game is on. Go ahead.
I'm thinking now, Richie, that is some of these gymnastic ladies dancing, and anytime they go up in the air and thing, the thing that they jump on there, it's ricocheting as they go down and land on the floor. That's what I'm thinking. These gymnastic dancing ladies.
Yeah, man. Jody was a gymnast. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, Jody was a gymnast. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. They
Well,
always wear these slipper dance one.
we can't fault you for thinking deeply, but here is the verdict.
Oh yeah, so wow. Hold on.
Boy.
Thanks for trying, Ian.
Okay.
All right, take care. Let's go in one more time. Good morning, and welcome to the Secret Sound game. Hello.
You get nervous.
Oh boy.
What do you think gymnast too? Morning caller. Yeah, hear something.
DJ, let's play the sound. We haven't played it since morning, so persons can listen and hear it. So, Bridge Nation, that is the secret sound that you must identify in order to win. Let's go in one more time, and if we get an answer that we feel we might need to do some research on, then we just have to do that this morning. It is what it is. Let's go in. Good morning. Good morning.
I hear you. But I mean the person radio up and loud.
Caller, are you there? No, we're not hearing that. Apparently they're calling on the WhatsApp line. And, we're not seeming to be hearing them. Good morning. Are you hearing us?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
That is it.
Morning.
Thank you. Who's calling?
This is Imar calling again.
All right, Imar.
Imar.
Welcome, man. All is well?
All is well, all is well.
Wonderful. What is your answer?
So my answer is someone packing a barrel with slippers.
And I guess some of them blue.
Hey, that makes sense. Richie, that makes sense because some of the barrel blue, you know, you have blue barrel and you have some blue barrel.
And some blue slippers.
And blue
too.
slippers.
Packing a barrel. Let me hear the song again. Packing a barrel with slippers?
Hey!
Imar, I think. Hey, Imar.
Yeah, man.
Imar,
I'm here.
do you want to change anything about that answer?
Thinking Imar. Think about it in an
Think
Imar.
about it seriously.
No, I'm sticking with my answer.
Ooh.
And your answer once again is?
Packing a barrel. Someone packing a blue barrel. And of course, there's slippers involved.
So,
There's a higgler packing a barrel. Still sticking by it.
so, so you're saying then that the sound that you heard is the actual sound while the barrel is being packed?
Something like that, yes.
I have to be technical because it's technical. That is what you're thinking, right?
Right.
And you're not changing anything about that answer.
No, not changing my answer.
Okay. He's sticking with it, Shells. So the verdict has got to be given. Eh.
Imar, my G.
Oh.
Jeez on bees.
Brethren, you see, because you're not changing nothing about your answer, Imar.
Oh, boy.
Think about it. I'd say to you, though, think about it and call us back sometime, all right? Wow.
All right, no problem.
You put you under pressure, Imar, I'm not telling a lie. And that is not a clue, necessarily. Oh, boy. Well, listen, I think we're out of time, as a matter of fact. And it's not because we are crying Cree, but Imar, yo, brethren,
Brother.
if you know what I know, you're the wheel and come again.
No, G.
All right, we're out of time, so we're going to call it for today
Yeah.
on the Secret Sound game. One of the big items on the agenda this morning, as always on a Thursday, is our UK connection. The UK connection, of course, it's between Bridge 99 FM.
And the beat, London, 103.6.
And so at this time we say good afternoon because it's afternoon time in the UK to Robo Ranks. Morning, Robo.
General.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just did a quick hat change. I had a black one on, and I thought, joining Richie this morning just to show my solidarity and my support for his team. I put on something with a bit of red on it.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't wearing red last night, you got red. Absolutely nothing over at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Big up and good morning, all the United fans.
Oh, boy.
Seconds away from, is it 10 games? A 10-game run of victories. Last seen since Jose Mourinho and Michael Olise.
Yes, sir.
Who, alongside Saka, is one of the best and most talented young players in the world. Pulled off a world, they call it a worldie. What a free kick, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, good morning.
Good morning, man. Oh, go on, Robo.
I'm here. London is at a point where we were witnessing -4 for the last 3 days. And I tried to avoid going outside, and I took a trip outside last night. Ooh. Oh boy. It is so cold. It's just we've just gone into that cold snap, which is normally something we associate with January and February. But we were having such a few days of like mild weather. Nearly could have pulled the barbecue out.
Wow.
Jerk pan, something like that. But it's back to being old England, and it is freezing cold. So shouts to all the people that's commuting during the night hours when it drops temperature. It's really some Siberia thing without Putin's gas. You know what I mean? We don't have the gas, but it is cold, man. But another bright day. It's a bright morning. So yeah, good morning UK, or good afternoon, and good morning Jamaica. Yep. What's up, my team?
Well, we're here. I was about to ask you whether or not the rail services is up and running, because we know that there was a strike that was looming. Any word on that?
Well, it's been going on for the last few months, the rail service, but the major concern, I think people are kind of managed how they move around the capital and all the major cities when the strike. And I must say, the support for the rail workers is still up there. I needed to send you something though, Richard. I see I'll do it before the end of the show to show you how some of the bus drivers are dealing with the picket lines. Oh. Now, when I say the bus drivers, I'm saying our Jamaican bus drivers in London. But I'll get it over to you in a second. But the nurses is the more, to me, is the major concern. Because, you can imagine people suffering injuries or accidents and have to go to A&E and finding that the nurses are short because they are fighting for their money. And our minister decided to come out yesterday. I won't call his name. I can't remember his name. I don't even think he's irrelevant right now. But he decided to come out and said, well, obviously, there's a lot of people who use food banks. We have more food banks than McDonald's. I've told you about this fact. And nurses are using these food banks to top up their, to get food to feed themselves and their family. Wow. And the minister decided to bleat on about, well, them nurses need to learn how to budget better. Wow.
Really?
Yeah, so he's been scorched, and it just, all it does is just raises the level of support for people that are fighting on low wage. I mean, rich people saying things about, well, you got to budget better. How does that help? Yeah, doesn't really help, does it?
It doesn't. Foot and mouth disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just madness. I mean, if you can't say nothing to help, don't say nothing at all, because it's probably not your fight. You're okay. You know how you're gonna eat your food, your bread. Every week it comes in. Probably got some hedge fund somewhere tucked away. And when you're making comments about people who don't have it, when you're on that side of the fence, it doesn't sound right. And for me, hearing it, I just thought, wow, best keep your mouth shut, Minister, man.
I have a story, but I'm going to allow you to play some music before. It has to do with a daughter that was never owned by the legend, but her family will now benefit from proceeds and for arrangements that were made in his will.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay. And he died. His net worth was about 100 million, and provisions were made. Although during his lifetime, he never owned up to this daughter. Yeah, that story is coming in a short while from now, but we'll allow Robo Ranks to get off with some music right now inside of the UK
Connection.
You remember that story I mentioned, right, Robo?
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So, Edson Arantes do Nascimento. Better known as Pele.
Legend, you're gone.
That's where it is. The story is just breaking, and he has, in fact, left a portion of his fortune for his secret daughter named Sandra Regina, who he had long denied was his child. The mother apparently was his cleaner, his housekeeper.
Wow.
And throughout his lifetime, even when she went to the extent of getting a DNA test done, which proved that the daughter was his, he denied it until 2 days before his passing. when he reached out to his grandsons because the daughter died 17 years ago of a broken heart because he had up to that point not admitted to being her dad. But he called in her two sons, and they came in and they were quite gracious in all of what happened. A statement from them says, I spoke to my aunts and they said that our grandfather wanted to see us. We were very excited because it's an opportunity we had been longing for. The kid said, every family has fights and rows. Ours is no different, but there are moments when we love and we reunite, and that's the most important thing in life. So, well said by these boys. And they will, in fact, get the share of Pelle's estate that was left for his long denied daughter. Yeah. So it's all good in the end. But it's unfortunate that she'd have passed without being able to get that recognition during her lifetime. You know, she died of cancer, by the way. Yeah. Now, sorry, go ahead, Robo.
I was about to say, you did say, you said to me a broken heart, and I was like going, ah. And then you said she died of cancer. Yes. I mean, none of this is funny, but we also, even though that story had come up, we have to be careful how those stories are written, because we don't really know. The facts is the facts that the sons have now got themselves a portion of their grandfather's wealth. Yeah. But,
So I really like their attitude. That
is actually the most, to me, profound thing.
Very profound statement from these young men. Yeah. All right. There is a bit of a name calling going on. Not many artists like to do that, and some who do usually have some kind of repercussion. But when I hear a song like this from an artist by the name of Gage, where he's calling so many artists names, not necessarily in a complimentary way, then we've got to play it into this UK connection. Gage, brand new.
Southside.
And we welcome you if you're just joining us. Of course, we have a very interesting segment right now that's about to start. We call it
Man Chat.
And this morning, there's an interesting subject that we'll be looking at with our guest.
Yeah, it's all about, the reasoning is about, should men continue the traditional route of dating? Joining our discussion this morning is Mr. David Reed, who is the regional manager at the JCDC, and he's also a social and cultural activist. Now, here we're going. Just like an info. Years ago, them say, men were expected to pay for everything while dating, but nowadays it seems common to see couples, splitting the bill and so on. This, however, has caused a lot of confusion, as guys today are often unsure if they should pay the bill, should be a little bit courteous, chivalry and all that when it comes to dating women. So let's find out. Let's join the reasoning right now. Let's begin the reasoning, and let's introduce Mr. David Reed. Morning, Mr. Reed.
Morning, Shells. Morning, Richie B.
Good morning, David.
Interesting topic you have, yes?
Yeah, man. We're nervous.
We welcome you once again. I think David has been with us before, and it's always a pleasure to have you on with us, David. This is an interesting topic. We all agree, but I have to ask you: do you believe in the traditional way of dating, so to speak?
Well, I'm at a conflict at the moment because traditionally we were socialized that men really take care of, first and foremost, ask for the date, and of course take care of everything that is associated with the date. But things have changed. Times are changing. I mean, most of the women probably have an earning power greater than the man that they would want to date, and so
really
the conflict is.
In some cases,
the ladies are making more money.
Oh, you mean?
I mean, the ladies who are making money and want to go on a date, right?
Yeah.
They would they might want to go at a nice fine dining restaurant and so forth, and so the man that they would want to go and date with might not have that economic power.
Fast food money.
Fast food money. So they would. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if she's comfortable with that, but then it's she wants a once in a lifetime or a special occasion. So she will offer to pay. The ego that man has, he might say, boy, in Bridging them, I go look at it and now I go come across and so forth. So I'm at a conflict because while I will stick with tradition for me. I would say, well, if the next man feel free to do and accept a female offering to pay for the date.
Hey, man, listen, gentlemen, this is a very interesting one. Here we are going on, Mr. Reed. You see that whole I believe that just like everything when it comes to traditional values and moving forward into the future and all these things, I do believe that we can't get rid of all the traditional values. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to how men court women or pursue women. Because when a business one woman wants to say, you know, all women like to be pursued, you know, and they like to feel like, you know, they're the prize and all these things. So I do believe in holding on to some parts of the traditional values. But here we're going. So the part when it comes to the dating now, watch the style here. All right, the first date, Mr. Reed, that first date, when she gave the chance, when she gave, you know, the opportunity there, I do believe as men, we have to make sure it's everything covered. I do. The first one. That first.
So you're sticking to tradition in the first date.
Yeah, even if she say, I'd like to go out with you. Even if she said first, you go and say, all right, I got it. And nobody look upon her and be like, where you want to go? Nah, just cover everything. But there are women out there now, Mr. Reed, will say, I like probably 4 or 5 dates down, and you still a initiator. You say no. At some point, I believe we the men like to feel like our pursuits are not in vain. So I want to know if you agree.
You would have created a new tradition. You would have created a tradition in the dating with you and her. So from the first date, you did sit down and said, all right. So the first date, I'm going to take cover it. The second and the third, the fourth, we start splitting it and so forth. So you have now created a tradition within that dating relationship, and so she's expected up to the 10th and 11th dating session that you are going to cover it.
It sounds like she won't be around that long.
You might get cold feet and jump out of it. As a man, you're going to want to impress, quote unquote, right? From the first and so forth, and she's wowed by it, and so she gonna want to stick with that, right? Of course, you have ladies out there who are reasonable and conscious and know that, she has to dig deep in her pocket all the time. So
blessings.
We praise them, eh?
Yeah, man.
Where does the matter of affordability come in, though? I mean, if it is let's use the first example being the man who definitely is earning a whole lot more money than the woman is. Isn't it isn't okay for him to continue to pay for a decent amount of time before even asking the lady who might have to save towards that date? Is anything wrong with that if the brothers go that route?
I wanna think so. I mean, if he has the earning power and the spending power, he can continue and surely. But, I mean, say it's his birthday and she wants to treat him. That would be a different.
It's the once a year thing. You need to give her some time to save towards that.
yes, right. And it might be even your money that she's still spending on you, but you know, it's I save the money that I get or whatever and so forth in order to treat him and so forth. So the tradition, while I shall say we want to hold true to it, but the economics of the and reality of time, you know, is allowing us to spin it a different way. And plus women are more advanced and step out and, you know, and so they don't want to be, yes, they want to be pursued, but they don't want to be feeling like, boy, them have an obligation.
Like it becomes a burden. But the second example now would be the woman who is in the reverse order now. She's the one earning most of the money, but maybe she prefers to be treated out on a date while the man might not be able to afford it. As I said earlier, he might just have fast food money. What happens there?
And I tell you a real scenario. My friend is going to just beat me up. She is an elderly lady than the guy that she's dating. Okay. And she would, you know, put funds in his account, you know, for him to spend, and so he don't feel inadequate and so forth.
Hold on there. Hold up. Hold on there.
Chelsea is interested in that one.
That's an interesting concept. I hope the lady's listening.
We're all applauding her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
she's going to knock me because I told her to listen. Right?
Don't call her name.
No, I'm not going to.
Right.
And so she so him don't feel inadequate going, being the one spending and so forth. Because that can also use the ego of a man going out and the lady doing all the spending and so forth. Granted, there are some men out there who don't have a problem with that, none at all. You know, them flourish on that. But if the woman is earning most or more than the man, you know, I don't see the problem if she wants to, because again she might have developed a taste. She wants to have fine dining, place. She wants to go to a special ball, or she wants to go with. The man really don't have the money. What's she going to do? She's going to suffer herself and say, boy, or she's going to find another guy to do it, or so forth. Right?
What about
so she will do that.
Yes. What about splitting the bill, though? Is that also...
when that come into play.
Yeah.
Right, this down there.
Well, that is now a commonplace in Jamaica, in our society. I mean, many dating couple will say, all right, I'll pay for the movie ticket and you get the popcorn and the soda and so forth. But that's at the low end of the dating, eh? If they go up further. And I wouldn't see a problem, and I don't see a problem, and I wouldn't have a problem personally. And I've gone on dates where we split the bill and all of those things. Because again, tradition is going out and culture is changing, and so people are accepting that, hey, the reality of the thing is, you know, because economic drives everything, you know, and the reality of it is that David don't have the money.
Even when you split, though, what is the ratio like? 50-50, 60-40,
No.
30-70,
No, sir. Stop it, Besson.
90-10.
I mean, if you're splitting 90-10, you might as well.
Let's go with the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, let's stop right there.
50-50 is acceptable. 60-40, I mean, or you take care of this part and I take care of that part and so forth. You know, things like that can work out, and it's reasonable if you really check for the person, you really want to develop a relationship and so forth out of that dating experience. So I wouldn't say a problem, and I do have a problem, and last night when I was called to be on the program, I spoke with several persons. They do have a problem with this split stuff, right?
Well, for me, Richie, this is my game plan, gents. My girl, I listen to, she not, you are going. This is the game plan. So before she says, it becomes official, as we like to say nowadays, with the girlfriend, boyfriend moving forward, you say all of those dates leading up to that, I think the men should for deal with that. You understand me? I said, let's cover that, because you pursue, you want to get the title, you want to have it. But you see, after that, man, if you don't split, hey, let me tell you, no.
But you are creating a tradition there now. She's going to know, stay, but for the first 10 dates, Shell's pay first, so I know at the 11th date, know that him get me. He want me to split the money and split the bill.
Oh, that's a good point. Hey, virtuous woman, you know. They say they're hard to find, but they're out there. You understand what I'm saying?
There are plenty out there.
Yeah.
Still, yes.
The debate continues.
Well, true. Because many men out there right now are long past the dating scenario. But in the interest of those who are, in fact, heading into that arena, then we definitely presented this feature this morning, and we thank you, David.
We must encourage dating, All youngsters are not accustomed to it, but we must encourage dating. Give our son some funds and say, hey, take the girl out, man, get to know her.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent point. That. Yeah, that's true.
All right, David, thank you so much, man. Have a great day. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks much for having me.
All right. Man. And that lady won't clobber you because you didn't call her name.
That's an interesting concept.
She's texting me right now.
There you go. See, Thank you, David. He's the regional manager at the JCDC, and he's a social and cultural activist. And that was Manchat looking at the topic, should men continue the traditional route of dating? Let us hear from you if you want to make a comment. I was doing a walkthrough at the studios owned by Inner Circle in Florida. This big American rapper was inside there recording, and the young Lewis, son of one of the Lewis brothers from Inner Circle, took me into the studio and this artist was across the glass, so he says, sorry to disturb your session, but this is one of the top DJs out of Jamaica that I just wanted you to say hi to.
What?
And the big American rapper looked across and he says, why are you in here to disturb my session?
Yo.
And then him see the shame look on my face and him come over and him hug me up and say, I'm just kidding, man.
I'm just kidding, man.
I'm just kidding, man. Well, that very same rapper is in the news right now. We became good friends. I remember I brought him at Sunfest and had conversations about that experience with him. We're talking about Flo Rida, by the way.
Okay.
And he's a hip-hop artist that's well known, has sold millions of records around the world.
Oh, yes.
Apparently there was a deal with Celsius Energy Drinks, and he had reason to sue them for a breach of contract. And now he has been awarded a whopping $82.6 million US.
Hey. Okay.
Search my phone and see if I still have.
Yeah, that's almost done friend just in time.
Yeah, man, because we need to talk.
Yeah, man.
Right now, I'm going to let him in my studio. It has been quite a morning, Shells.
Yeah, man, I will give thanks.
Yeah. But we want to thank, of course, all of our guests. Dr. Batchelor.
Yes.
Who spoke to us
Dr.
at 7
Astrid
o'clock.
Batchelor,
Yeah, about
obstetrician.
cervical cancer.
Yeah, man.
No
seriously.
winning the secret sound game, but one person came very close.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, I think on Monday, God spare our lives, we might very well have a winner if they were listening to how close that person came. We also had, of course,
the UK connection.
Yeah, with Robo Ranks.
On the beat, London
That was off the chain.
Yeah, man, it was a vibe. But of course, at 8:45 in the AM, it was all about man chat. And peeps were calling in and Richie. Ladies, them got riled up a bit. But
okay.
you know why, Bridge Nation? Because we're talking about should men continue the traditional route of dating. And we had a great guest, Mr. David Reed, regional manager at JCDC and a social and cultural activist. Thank you so much. At 9 in the AM, we had a fantastic reasoning with Fire Rebel, Tony Rebel ahead of Rebel Salute.
Yeah. So, of course, Jody is absent today. We thank her for her contribution to the program.
Get well soon.
And, of course, we thank you, Shells, DJ Audley, and Sean in the building. Of course, Peter John.
Big up, yes.
Did a lot more than usual, and we appreciate the effort, sir.
Big up, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks to our peeps in the streets.
Yeah.
And Mr. who arrived kind of.
Big up yourself.
Yeah, big up yourself, youth. All right. Most of all, we'd like to thank, of course, the Bridge Nation for being a part of the experience.
Yeah, man.
And take good care. Have a great day today. 12 o'clock today, Messi versus Ronaldo.
Remember that.
I'm going to try to see if I can find it somewhere.
Yeah.
And have a look.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see how that one goes. Take care, everybody. We're out of here. Bye-bye.
Up.
Coming up at 10 o'clock, Levels and Meds with Mr.
Azan.
Jeffrey Azan. It's going to be interesting. Bridge 99. Here we go.